Okay, well, the next thing we wanted to talk about was Logan Paul. So, obviously, he's always a trending topic, really.
Yeah, literally, to be fair, that's why you got, respect both of them, Jake and Logan. That's all we talk about in the podcast.
Jake,
literally
Logan,
is.
and KSI.
Yeah, literally. And it's like,
we always mention one of them. Every week, we got to mention one of them.
It's because, actually, it's interesting what they do, but it also does help with, views as well.
Yeah, but it's always just in our circle, especially.
Yeah,
it's one of the biggest things.
And I wouldn't say we choose them because it does well.
No, not at all. We literally look at what's happened this week and we're like, okay,
Logan's done something again.
He's done this, or Jake's called out this person, or JJ's got this. Or it's
mental.
Yeah, so Logan has basically said he's moving to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
I always say this wrong, so I always say Puerto Rico.
No. Puerto Rico is correct. I think Jake doing the same. Jake moved to Miami, right, for training, but then I think he might have gone Puerto Rico as
Yes, I'm not really sure.
Well.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, damn it.
So I'm not really sure. I have no idea what Jake's really done in terms of moving wise. Because he's really trying to go boxing route. Obviously, Logan is trying to go down the boxing route, but Logan seems way more focused on okay, I've got to fight with Mayweather, but also I'm trying to do this business and I'm trying to do these cards and I'm trying to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas Jake seems yes, he has his businesses, but right now, all you hear about Jake is
that's his brand.
Who he's fighting. I mean, his Ben Askren fight is coming up.
Yeah, it's true.
Logan's has been postponed, so
I think because obviously, Simon and I watched a bit of Logan's podcast regarding this subject before he started to speak about it. And number one, everyone, there are a lot of people. You keep hearing about it's LA or Exodus, and people keep leaving. Joe Rogan, I think Kanye, a lot of people. That's just a few, but a lot of influencers as well are leaving.
The doorbell.
Is that a bell?
Yeah,
you can check. Yeah, because of tax, and we wanted to, double check that. But yeah, I mean, they're going to Texas. I think I'm not sure exactly what the rule is. I'm not sure if it's no income tax or it's minimal, but it pretty much is a lower tax rate. So I think that's why a lot of people are going to Texas, and I think it's probably the reason why
Texas
they're going to
Miami, wouldn't it?
Texas, Miami, yeah, and then Puerto Rico, yeah. So it's less tax rates. So that's one of the reasons why. But in general, a lot of people are leaving LA, and I think probably maybe the coronavirus kind of reminded them that if we're going to spend a lot of time indoors, or maybe we don't have to rely on it.
More land and more things to do, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, we speak about it a lot, right? I mean, we're especially for someone like me who comes from Nottingham to now look at houses and think I can get so much more up there.
Yeah,
but all my friends are here, right? So then say that if you're in LA and you're Logan Paul and you start to see one person leave, another person leave, you think actually, you know what? Maybe someone's taking the leave. Maybe I'll do that, and I can get a better place, or I can get a better life.
Well, Logan basically says the reason. Obviously, you've covered the tax side.
Yeah, that's one reason. That's not the whole reason.
That's not the whole reason, but I mean, it's a nice reason. They mention, if you make $1 million in LA, you're losing $130,000 of that.
Yeah.
There, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the rate is in Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if it's nothing, but it's different.
Yeah, it's less than that.
Yeah.
But the other reason he says is he went there. He went there, Texas, and Miami, and he just said he loved
the vibe.
He loved that, and he also said that
he said it was like heaven, right? He said that
yeah,
you can live in heaven. Which
so he said, I can't remember the exact wording of it, but he basically said that they put their partying or whatever it is into a smaller time period or something.
Right.
It's very seasonal,
right,
or something. I know it was something along those lines, but basically he said, I get better ideas when I'm on my own. So firstly, he can train better because he can.
Yeah, so it's more like a safe, more like a haven for him, more a way to go and when certain artists go and make music, they go and lock themselves away in a cabin for 24 hours or 24 weeks or whatever it may be.
But he also said, obviously Logan right now is killing it in terms of the business side of stuff, financially, etc.
Yeah,
because he's got all the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah,
he's got Barstool Sports. He's got the auction place. He's got a lot.
With clothing, obviously, is
clothing, etc. He says he gets his best ideas when he's on his own. So I think him going there is also a thing of okay, I'll come up with more stuff that can. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he needs it, but
so for context, him and Mike were speaking about it because obviously, Mike it looks like he's staying in LA, right? And
so Logan gave him and George. I want to say that's, I'm pretty sure. He gave them a presentation on why they should move with him.
Yeah.
And they've both said no, basically.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense.
It's a big risk and it's a lot to ask someone to, it's not forcing them either. It's just, saying this is why you should, come with us. So Mike's point of view is for Mike personally, he was saying It's probably good for me to like get out of like Logan's shadow. Like, I've got a lot of things going for myself. I can go do this, go and do that, which is true. But then also he's saying like, why would you not want to stay in LA? And this is where the business is. This is where all the contacts are. You can do so much here. Whereas Logan's saying like, nah, like what I want to do is one, go and train. And again, like even though what you mentioned, like all the investments Logan's got, all like the project he's working on, even though they are good, probably good money makers. For Logan, if you're looking at this Mayweather fight, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
You could go and start like 4 or 5 businesses, try and make like 10, 20, 30 mil, or you can go and fight, Floyd Mayweather, get even 10% of that purse.
Yeah, true.
And make like 30, 40 mil potentially.
Yeah.
So like he's probably thinking that, I've got one, and also
the better you do as well. The
better you do, yeah.
The bigger
and it's your brand,
becomes.
right? Look at JJ and Logan after their fights together. Even if you do lose, even if you just take the small paycheck, the rest of Logan's businesses in the future will grow from it.
True.
So he's probably thinking long term, and he's thinking, if the better I do, if I go and focus and put on a show, it's going to do well for me. So he's probably thinking that. But also, like he did mention the point as well, where if he's on his own in Puerto Rico, right, and he's got an idea, he doesn't have to execute it himself. He can.
Yeah, that was the other thing. He has all the contacts now,
in LA. Yeah,
so he can literally just go, I've had this idea. Because he says the execution part isn't the hard part; it's the idea.
Yeah,
which is fair.
Yeah,
obviously for some people the execution is the hard part, but
that's why he hires someone else.
Yeah,
so
he's now
what you
got
can't
that.
do. Hire, yeah.
The other thing which he says, which is obviously true, is he only has to live there for 6 months a year,
right?
So he can come back and forth.
Yeah.
And I mean, based on all the stuff he's got going, I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets like a private jet or something.
Could do, yeah.
Just flies between
Yeah,
them.
I mean, for context as well, in the last week or so, Logan's made like 6 mil on these NFTs through.
Yeah.
So, like, by the way, I'm a bit annoyed because I thought this collectibles guru guy was gone. And he has gone. He does seem to be gone from Logan's like Pokemon box break, but he's still there with the NFTs and the crypto. And I just don't. This guy's weird. Anyway, yeah. So like Logan dropped this NFT, which is like a digital collectible in the blockchain with Ethereum. I don't know too many details about it. But yeah, I think he sold like a mil in 30 minutes or something. And, I don't think he sold them all out. I don't think
they're $2,000 each, roughly.
Yeah, I don't think it's gone incredibly well, but he still made a lot out of it. I mean, he made like a mil out of the box in general. He went and invested in the company that he sold his packs through, Golden Auctions, with Chad, like the co-founder of YouTube, Mark Cuban, a bunch of different people. So he's got big things going on. So like you say,
So the thing I'm interested to see is obviously, so they say it's not the end of Impulsive.
Yeah.
But obviously, if he is there, considering they do talk about current stuff, it's going to be quite hard to do them.
Might change guests. Maybe just Mike leaves type of thing, or maybe they do.
But he said at one point about he may potentially sell his house.
Yeah,
because he was kind of like, I don't really
need this big house.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
here the whole
that's
time.
a lot to have
to upkeep as well.
But then they also spoke about potentially Mike living there.
Yeah,
and then also he said, he's just spent 70 grand on renovating Impulsive, the podcast.
Yeah,
so it's like it's a lot to just get rid of instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how it's going to work, but I mean, ultimately he is earning enough, and he could just come back and forth
do
if he wants to.
Really.
I don't know if he wants that stress on his life, but he could just go, I'll do a week.
Yeah,
he could make Impulsive less and do a month here, a month there.
Yeah.
A month here, a month there.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. I mean, like I could, Laura and I could go move into, somewhere in Nottingham, and like we wouldn't be in the group as much, but we could always just drive back. But then like doing a podcast once a week, every Monday or every Tuesday, like it's a long way to travel back and forth.
Yeah.
So like stuff like podcasts or stuff like any engagement you have, with other people, you still have to think about and they have to address that. So maybe it's going to be the end, maybe they're going to adapt it. But I guess we've always spoken about, like, as in the group, no, it's never been serious, but we're always like, oh, why can't we go and like everyone move to Manchester? We go and get like a massive cul-de-sac, just each get a house there and just all make content together. But realistically, it can never happen that way because each person is different. Even though you got lots of in common and you got a lot of work relationships, but also personal relationships in the group. Not everyone wants to do that, and you can't even rely. You can't force someone to do that either.
No, I mean, I don't think it's even worth it anymore anyway, because ultimately you see, like, we all live near each other now.
Yeah.
How often do people actually collab?
Not too often.
I mean, obviously it's Corona now, so we can't. Regardless.
Yeah. But then even if you do
the Sidemen, but that's about it.
And even if you do have a Sidemen shoot, right? I mean, we are. It's different in the UK. Like, you can go from Manchester to London in like 2 hours, which is so short. Even if you drive, maybe 3.5 if you drive. But like a train, like Euston, right, is like 2 hours from Euston to Piccadilly, Manchester to Piccadilly, I think.
Something like that.
2 hours, and then when the HS2 comes in, obviously it's like an hour. So realistically, like, say if you say if you live in Manchester and you got a Sidemen shoot on Tuesday at 3:00, you just set off at 1:00. Sorry, well, I put a bit earlier. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can still do that. We're in the UK, so it's easy. You know, Logan can't really fly from Puerto Rico to, you know, LA like that.
If he has a private jet.
He's got a jet, then maybe it's different. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot to consider. I'm sure he's got something planned. Logan doesn't seem like the kind of person that has just made this decision on a whim. And
nah, of course not. I mean, maybe he has.
Maybe he has,
but he'll put the thought into
he'll
it,
have the stuff behind it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he's gone, oh, I'd love to move here. And he's gone, I am going to move here. But he's then got the system behind it that he's...
He did say, to be fair, like, impulsive is one of the only things he, like, had to consider. As in, like, that's one of the things that like would like not stop it, but like he has to really consider.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and I mean, I guess, like, you know, if the difference between London and Manchester is like a £500,000 difference of a house, you know, that difference you could then spend on, you know, buying a car.
Yeah, I mean, for me though, I personally think I'd rather make less but live near my mates. I know it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, like, if I did that, I feel like I'd be really lonely there.
Yeah, but then you got to think about family, right? Like, you wouldn't be living on your own. You know, you'd be living with, like...
That's what I'm interested to see, because I don't know who's moving there.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying anyone is. I'm just saying, like...
Because at the moment, it looks like it's him.
Oh, you're talking about Logan now?
Yeah,
sorry. Got you.
Yeah, it looks like it's just him moving.
Yeah, but, you know...
And I mean, everyone is different in terms of...
He'll have his, like, assistant. He'll have, like... You know,
yeah.
He'll take someone with him.
But everyone's different in terms of that. Like, I am very much... I personally don't like my own company.
Yeah.
I know that sounds very
deep.
deep.
JJ could move to Japan and be happy.
Yeah.
That's not saying he doesn't care about his friends. It's just like he's very...
Binance. Just
yeah.